Good morning, YouTube. It's another beautiful day in God's country. Hey, listen, I got to work outside today, so I might not have my sunglasses on. We're here at the $9,000 house, the latest project. My new $9,000 house I told you all about that I closed on last Monday, so I've had it for a week. And I thought I'd bring you all on a trip this morning, even though I won't be able to upload this video probably until, I don't know. I'm going to be here all day. It ain't no Wi-Fi here, so I don't know. I guess this video will be on tonight. But it must be around 8 o'clock in the morning. What is it? Oh, hell, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh, lucky moving slow this morning. But it's going to rain on us, and it's going to rain on us quick. It already did rain a little bit. But so this video is going to be a little short this morning because I got a lot to do outside here before it starts raining. But anyhow, I'm going to give you all the tour of the $9,000 house, a miniature tour, so y'all can figure out how I get houses for $9,000, which actually is an expensive one. Haven't bought one. Usually don't pay that much for these, but the market is on fire. This is Lucky's $9,000 house. By the way, Alan, while that Chevy truck of yours is very impressive, I do like it. You know I'd probably buy it off you anytime. That right there is my $500 F-150 with over 300,000 miles on her. And she gets it done every time. 6 in a row, ready to go. That's the famous Ford straight six. Anyway, I weed eated this lot yesterday, about 2.5 hours with the weed eater. It was all overgrown, looking like that. It was up past my waist. And so a few hours with the weed eater yesterday, and I got that knocked down. But I got a lot more to do today. But yeah, she's a good old solid house, built in the 1800s. This was what they call a mining house. And these were all mining towns. I am in the tiny town of Fulton, Fulton, just outside of Mohawk, Michigan. And as you can see, I knocked all this down with my weed eater yesterday. I'm going to show you guys how to maximize your efforts with a weed eater since you're here with me today. Teach you a little bit about the Stihl Weed Eater. Because I am wearing my Stihl hat, right? I got the Stihl hat on. Everybody thinks I promote Stihl or I really love Stihl, although it's not that I'm in love with Stihl equipment, but it's the only type of equipment I'll buy. We're talking blowers, weed whackers, or chainsaws, but that's just me. But the hat was free, y'all. If you ain't figured it out yet, give me a break. The reason I wear this one's because the only one I got left that's clean. And if I wear my dirty hats on my video, then my mama scolds me. So I wear the Stihl hat because it's still kind of clean. So anyway, you get the idea. This is the exterior, which I'm going to repaint, rehab. You can see I got a little work to do up there on the roof. If you can see that, it's not leaking, but this side of the house is roofed with what's called roll roofing. And the bottom couple of layers have blown off in the most recent windstorms. If you can see this wood up here, it's still fresh. So I'm in good shape. There's no leaks. And we're going to get some new roll roofing up there, keep her from leaking. And she got a couple new windows here and there, but mostly old windows, probably from the 20s or 30s. And all that. Now, back here's where I haven't weed eated yet, but I'm going to this morning, even though it's wet. But the first thing I'm going to do is get this burn pile going, if y'all can see that back there. I got to light that. Yeah, it's fun working up here. I love bonfires. This will be a good one. About 15, 20 minutes from now, even though this is soaking wet, I'll have her raging. Now, I don't know. Anyway, folks, this is how they built them back in the 1800s. There's an old-timey shed over here that I'm going to borrow me a car hauler trailer And my buddy's going to bring his bobcat over. And with a little bit of good high quality rednecking, we ought to be able to get that there shed up on the trailer. I want to take it to my house, repaint it, rehab it, repurpose it, and save that 140-year-old shed right there. It's actually pretty well built. And of course, I'll slap some new roll roofing on it, paint that thing all the way around, paint a nice trim, make it match my house, and it'll look good, and it'll be 140 years old. I don't know if you all will be able to see in here. Just needs a little bit of work, right? You guys have seen stuff like this before, probably. Lucky's seen a lot of stuff like this. All right. Oh, we're inside. I got to put my sunglasses on. I'm only serious. Anyway, not enough light in here, as you can tell, but the old house, she ain't bad. She ain't bad, right? She got the upstairs up there, kind of one giant room and then a bedroom, and, you know, needs the elbow grease. She got the new furnace. And in here's the bathroom. In here's the living room. Anyhow, folks, just another old-timey house. Got the original hardwood floors, if you can see those. This is what real hardwood floors look like, y'all, when they ain't been nothing done to them in 100 years. I kind of like them. I like wood. I don't really like carpet and stuff, even though I do have carpet in the house that we live in now, simply because it had pretty nice, pretty new carpet in it when we first got it. But anyway, folks, so I'm out here today speaking the real truth. Another beautiful day in God's country, like I always tell y'all. Now, if you want to know how I can weed eat an entire half-acre yard in 2.5, 3 hours, I'm going to give y'all a little lesson today regarding a Stihl Weed Eater. Now, I'm running what's called an FS70. This is a FS70R. It's kind of a newer one. I don't know, 6 years old maybe or something. The best Stihl Weed Eater ever made is called an FS80. If any of y'all have a older Stihl Weed Eater, maybe 10, 20 years old, I think more than 10, probably closer to 20, and it says FS, F is in Frank, S is in Sam, FS80, don't get rid of it. And if you're gonna, make sure you get at least $300 for that sumbitch, because every lawn care guy in the United States wants it. Okay? Stihl FS80. Straight up 2-stroke. The best weed eater they ever made. Hands down. Just about any Stihl guy will tell you that. And very hard to come by. Most little Stihl dealerships have a waiting list of fellas that told that dealership, hey, anybody brings in an old FS80, trades it in or whatnot, you call me, I'll buy it off you. Okay? So they're really hard to find. I had one. And, boy, I should have never let go of it. But anyway, these FS70s are kind of, you know, close. But Stihl does not make an FS80 anymore, unless they've started more recently. The FS80 was so coveted by the lawn care community when they had discontinued it because of pollution, right? When they discontinued it because people were bullshitted by propaganda, they didn't make another FS80 because they knew they couldn't make one as cool, and with the new smog control and, you know, blah blah blah, smog prevention crap, etc. So you can either get an FS70 or an FS90. Now, a lot of guys will tell you, well, get the FS90 because it's got so much more power. And if you're going to do crazy work like Lucky does, where you're going to clear a field in an afternoon and turn it into a lawn, you're going to need that power. Well, I go with the FS70 because it's lighter And I'm going to teach you today how to get maximum power out of your Stihl Weed Eater. And you could, yeah, I'm going to show you how to do it, folks. These things, most people aren't getting 10% out of their Stihl Weed Eater, in my opinion. That's why I wear the Stihl hat there, right? No, it was free, folks. So, with all of that said, let's get to it. The FS70 is what they call now some kind of 4-stroke. I don't really get it because you still got to mix the oil with the gas. So to me, it's a 2-stroke. And they don't quite smoke like the old ones. So I added some extra 2-stroke just so I got the nice little blue smoke blowing out. So it smells good. I like the environment. That's a good environment. People don't understand that. They go, oh, 2-strokes are bad for the environment. No, they're not. As soon as you smell a 2-stroke motor running, it takes you right back to that night at the bar with the fellas with all 12 snowmobiles running and idling as everybody finishes their last beer, getting ready to roll out. That's a good gosh dang environment, folks. Or down at the marina at 6 o'clock in the morning when the sun's coming up and that fella's down there firing up that old Johnson. And you know how that is, fellas. Any of you guys do any fishing? You know, you still got one of them old Johnsons. Well, you know how it is getting them old Johnsons going, right? I mean, there's an art to it. And this fella down there, I don't know, he had like about a 1969 Johnson on the back of his fishing boat back there, right? So, there's a guy down there, he decided he's going to get that old Johnson fired up. Well, you got to be careful with them old Johnsons. It's likely been just laying around for a while, right? You can't just go over there and crank on it. Not like them newer ones, them younger Johnsons, but when you ladies, if any ladies ever gone any fishing, when you get your hands on an older Johnson like that, you got to remember it's probably been laying around for a while. Takes a while to get things lubed up before it's ready to go. They all got the ball there. The first thing you got to do is squeeze the balls on them old Johnsons, and you can't squeeze them hard, ladies, not too hard. You'll flood it out, and it's going nowhere then. You got to gently squeeze the balls. You got to know just how to do it. Get her primed, right? And then once you've got that old Johnson fully primed by squeezing them balls just right, then what you got to do is you don't want to just start tugging on her, folks. Don't just start yanking and cranking on that old Johnson. Like I said, it's probably been laying around a while, right? So you got to take your time. When you're done gently squeezing the balls, now what you want to do is you just want to crank on it slowly. Just jerk on that thing slow, because you got to get things lubricating naturally, right? So you got to get, you know what I mean? You got to lube up that old Johnson a bit before. Once you got her properly lubed, well, then you can start really jerking on it or cranking on it. But anyway, y'all get the idea. I'm sure you guys been around plenty of fishing motors before. But so the Stihl here now, this is a little different. This is a little more modern piece of machinery. Now, one of the best things about Stihl is they made their products very, very good to last a long, long time, as well as to operate with maximum safety in mind. Very hard to hurt yourself with a stock Stihl Weed Eater because they really, the engineers really went, all out on safety, especially since they made these hybrid 4-stroke things, right? So first thing you want to do is add a little extra 2-stroke in there so you get some blue smoke so you feel like you're still working. That's the first thing you want to do. Then what Lucky does is, I add a little of what's called stable in there because it adds a little octane as well and it'll get her to bang just a little harder. You can squeak a couple more RPMs out of it with a little stable in there. And then once in a while, when I got a lot of shit to do like I do here, I just go ahead and buy me a bottle of octane boost, and I like to ease that in there as well. But now let's talk about the important, well-engineered safety equipment that Stihl provided for us to keep us safe and to ensure that your Stihl equipment runs well for a long time to come. First and foremost, when you buy your Stihl Weed Eater, you're going to have a big old fancy guard up here on the top. Now, of course, that's imperative to keep you safe. If you don't have that guard on, you're going to be flinging rocks everywhere. You could lose an eye. You're going to bust glass out of your own house, bust windows out of the neighbor's trucks. You might kill a couple kids riding by on bicycles. So get that off right away, because that's really getting in the way of shit, if you ask old Lucky. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm going to tell you another reason why they put that on there, too. Not just to keep the kids safe that are riding their bikes around the neighborhood, but also it cuts your line. See? That handy-dandy there guard that's about yay wide, so you look like you're out there running a metal detector. Well, that thing not only keeps the rocks and everything down on the ground, keeps everybody safe, including the operator of this here Stihl Weed Eater, it also keeps your line cut to precision measurement about yay long, which is wonderful because these motors run high RPMs, but Stihl motors are built so well, they stay well lubed and they can run at high RPMs for years. This sumbitch here will run for 30, 40 years if you keep that guard on. Why is that? Because you only get this much line out, so it's never going to work that hard. So get rid of that guard. They fucked up when they made that. Get that thing off there, because you want to run your line out about yay long, which is why you need the octane boost in the stable in your gas, you see, because we're going to need every RPM, because we want to run that line out about yay long, because we got a field to knock down. Now, if you have to take your Stihl Weed Eater back in for warranty work, make sure you put that guard back on and cut your line back down to here where it's supposed to be, so they don't catch you doing that. They don't want you doing that, because your weed eater ain't going to last 30 years. I forgot that part. All right, but you're going to get some shit done. That's the important part now. Now, not only do you want to pull that guard off so you can get that line whipping out about 6 feet, when old Lucky's running the weed eater, it sounds like a helicopter flying over, because that line's going whoosh, 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 right? Now, here's the important thing that you do not want to neglect this extremely important piece of equipment that the Stihl engineers designed to go right here in the exhaust manifold here, because you know you got to have good exhaust, right? Right here, I believe it's what you call that, is the exhaust manifold. I don't know, it gets really dang hot, folks. I guess it's a muffler is what you call that. It gets really hot. Be careful. Lucky, I used to do this a lot, and I always had a big old burn on the inside of my elbow, even if I was wearing a shirt. You run this thing for 3 or 4 hours, and even laying your elbow right here puts a big old burn on you. But anyway, the engineers at Stihl, again, geniuses. Now, they knew that a fellow like Lucky could run a lot of RPMs out of this thing for quite a while, and it gets really hot. So then you sit her down and let her idle, and what she do, she catches the grass on fire and burns the neighborhood down. So they knew that old Lucky might burn the neighborhood down. So they put something in here called a spark arrestor. Now listen up, fellas. This is the most important piece of equipment that the engineers put on your Stihl Weed Eater. And it's just a little filter-looking piece of metal about yay long, about this wide, right by, looks like a tiny Band-Aid. Slides right in there. You'll never even know it's in there. Suck all the RPMs right out of your weed eater too, folks. So what you want to do, to make sure you don't burn the neighborhood down, take this little screw out, give her a few turns, get a screwdriver, stick her underneath that grate, pull it up, grab her with a pair of needle nose, pull it out and throw that piece of shit away. Once you got your spark arrestor out and your guard off the front, you're ready to get some shit done. How about a demo? Let's see. I don't know. Let's see if Lucky can give you a demo here. Hey. Now, the Stihl Weed Eaters are pretty predictable. This one's been run hard and put away wet, so I'm predicting the fourth pull. 3. Now, she runs a little rough because Lucky got her pretty tore down. But she'll get going now. Because I took that spark arrestor out, so I get a bunch of extra RPM. I'm gonna go torture this field behind me and show y'all how much work you get done with a Stihl Weed Eater if you're willing to do your own engineering. don't know if y'all saw that or not, but now, you probably heard I was bogging my weed eater down really good. That's because I'm getting every inch out of it that I possibly can. Now, is my FS70 going to last 30 years? Hell no. But you know what I don't want to do? Is spend 30 years knocking this lot down over here. And I ain't going to. I don't know if y'all got to see what I just did or not, but, you know, just cleared 30 feet of brush. You can see my burn pile now. Just takes you a couple minutes. Anyhow, I got to get to work, y'all. I'm fixing to light that big old bonfire and weed eat the rest of this yard. So, ask yourself, who can I help today? And most importantly, get all that shit out the way on your weed eater and get some gosh dang work done, will you? Stay true, y'all.